The screen fades into darkness. A single spark of light breaks through, flickering like a dying candle in the void. A low hum of distant echoes fills the air, as if the city itself is whispering secrets that no one dares to speak aloud. Then, suddenly, the silence cracks with the faint sound of footsteps echoing on empty streets. The rhythm is steady at first, but grows faster, louder, more desperate, like a heartbeat racing in fear. A shadow moves swiftly across the frame, faceless, nameless, but heavy with mystery. The tension rises, and just as the viewer leans closer, a whisper cuts through the stillness. The story isn't over. The darkness hides more secrets than ever before. The air feels heavier than before, thick with secrets that linger in the shadows. Every corner of the city seems alive, not with people, but with memories and warnings left behind. The sound of wind brushing past broken windows carries a haunting tune, one that speaks of unfinished business. The streets are deserted, but the silence is deceptive. There is always someone watching, always someone listening. The world of Beauty and Black has never been safe, and now the danger is closer than ever. Last season left scars that have not yet healed. Betrayal had cut deeper than knives, and the truth had split hearts wide open. Friendships shattered, trust destroyed, and the illusion of safety completely torn away. But with every ending comes a beginning, and this beginning feels darker, sharper, like a blade waiting to strike. Part 2 does not come quietly, it storms in with a promise. Nothing will ever be the same. A figure lingers at the edge of an alley, cloaked in silence. Their presence is like smoke unseen but suffocating, pressing down on every breath. No face is revealed, no name is spoken, but the weight of their intent is undeniable. Somewhere in the city, someone is waiting, someone is hiding, and someone is planning their next move. The pieces are on the board, and the game has already begun. Even if the players are unaware, memories flash like lightning in the minds of those who survived Part 1. A door slammed shut on trust. A letter burned before the truth could be read. A hand reached out, only to be pushed away. Every choice has left a mark, and every mark has built a chain of consequences that cannot be escaped. Now those choices are returning, haunting the living, pulling them deeper into the storm that is about to unfold. In this new chapter, beauty is not a gift, it is a curse. A mask that hides the truth, a weapon that blinds the innocent, and a temptation that destroys the strong. Every glance, every smile, every shadowed movement carries a meaning that no one dares to admit. Behind elegance, there is corruption. Behind grace, there is blood. Behind silence, there is betrayal waiting to scream. As the night deepens, the city begins to breathe faster. Lights flicker on and off, revealing moments too brief to understand but too clear to ignore. A door opens in the distance. A scream is swallowed by the wind. A figure walks away, leaving only footprints that will never be found. These are not random events, they are warnings, pieces of a puzzle that no one wants to solve. But soon, whether they are ready or not, the truth will force itself into the light. The storm is not coming, it is already here. And the faceless ones who walk through it carry secrets that could burn everything to the ground. This is not a story of survival. It is not a story of hope. It is a story of choices and the heavy price of those choices. In Part 2, every step forward is a risk. Every word spoken is a lie, and every shadow hides a truth too dangerous to face. And yet, within that danger lies the pull that cannot be resisted. The unknown calls louder than safety, and the beauty of the darkness is too tempting to turn away from. The question is no longer who can be trusted. The question is who will still be standing when the last secret is revealed. The silence that once wrapped the city like a shroud has begun to fracture. The walls that held back the truth are cracking, and from those cracks spill secrets too heavy to contain. In the heart of this world, shadows don't just follow, they lead. They pull every step into darker paths paved by decisions already made. The night is no longer empty. It is alive with whispers, with regrets, with ghosts of choices that refuse to fade. Among the ruins of broken trust, figures move silently, their faces hidden not by chance, but by choice. No mask is needed when the darkness itself is willing to conceal them. But even without faces, the weight of their stories bleeds through their movements. A hand trembling as it hovers over a locked door. Shoulders slumped in the quiet aftermath of lies. A clenched fist that trembles between rage and fear. These are the details that betray what words cannot. The wounds of betrayal from part 1 still ache like open cuts. Promises that once felt unshakable now lie in ashes, and every memory has turned into a blade. The one who trusted most became the one who fell the hardest. The one who swore loyalty became the one who vanished in silence. And the one who carried the truth became the one hunted for it. No one walks away unscarred. They only learn to carry the scars as armor. But armor can be cracked, and cracks invite danger. The city itself reflects this brokenness. The lights of once vibrant streets flicker like dying stars, while alleyways echo with footsteps that never reveal their owner. The rain paints the roads black, mirroring faces no one wants to see, holding reflections of people who are no longer there. Every drop seems to carry a memory, falling harder, faster, as if the sky itself mourns what has been lost. Yet within this despair burns a dangerous spark: revenge. Revenge doesn't sleep, doesn't forget, doesn't forgive. It clings to hearts like poison, spreading through veins until it becomes indistinguishable from survival itself. For some, revenge is the only language left. For others, it is the only reason to keep breathing. And in the darkness, revenge waits, sharpening its edge. But there is another danger, quieter and more seductive: the danger of love tangled in betrayal. Hands that once held in tenderness now tremble in suspicion. Eyes that once searched for comfort now search for weakness. Words that once promised forever now drip with venom. Love has turned into a battlefield, and the heart is no longer safe territory. It is the most dangerous trap of all. In this storm of betrayal and desire, nothing is clear. Friends look like enemies. Enemies look like saviors. The lines blur until even the strongest cannot tell right from wrong. Choices are made in desperation, and desperation rarely chooses wisely. Yet, it is in these mistakes that the story grows darker, richer, unstoppable. Because in this world, every wrong turn leads deeper into the truth, and the truth is never kind. As the night stretches on, a single figure steps into the light. Their shadow stretches long across the ground, faceless yet heavy with presence. Something about them feels final, inevitable, like the strike of a clock reaching its last second. Around them, the silence breaks not with words, but with the sound of hearts racing, of secrets threatening to burst free. Whoever they are, whatever they carry, it is enough to change everything. And so the storm deepens. It is no longer a question of who is guilty or who is innocent. It is no longer about trust or betrayal. It is about survival in a world where beauty itself is a weapon, where darkness is the only shield, and where every truth revealed will cost more than anyone is prepared to pay. The path forward is not lit, it is carved in shadows, and the price of walking it will be written in blood. The night no longer hides. It hunts. What was once a cloak of safety has now turned into a predator, pressing down on every heartbeat, every breath, every decision. The streets are empty, but the emptiness feels staged, as though someone has cleared the scene for what is about to unfold. Every corner hums with expectation. Every shadow stretches longer, daring the brave to step closer. The air itself carries a warning: what comes next will not be forgotten. The game has changed. It is no longer about secrets hidden in journals or whispers exchanged in locked rooms. Now it is about survival, raw and merciless. The silence of betrayal has given way to the roar of consequences, and those consequences move fast, leaving no time for hesitation. In the distance, the sound of metal dragging against stone echoes like a death toll, steady, deliberate, impossible to ignore. Someone is coming. Someone who has been waiting too long to stay patient any longer. Figures move like ghosts through the darkness, faceless yet unmistakably human in their fear and urgency. A hand grips a railing too tightly, knuckles whitening under the strain. Another darts down an alley, movements frantic, but calculated, as though every step has been rehearsed in nightmares. A door creaks open just wide enough for a shadow to slip inside before slamming shut, cutting off the light. The city is alive with motion, but every motion carries desperation, like prey scrambling to stay ahead of the predator that has already marked them. Revenge is no longer just an idea whispered in the dark. It has taken form. It stalks, it breathes, it leaves trails behind that others will be forced to follow. And as it grows, it twists everything in its path. Friends become pawns. Lovers become weapons. Every bond turns brittle, ready to snap with the slightest pressure. Those who thought they were safe now find themselves surrounded by walls that are closing in inch by inch. The sound of a heartbeat becomes louder, faster, almost unbearable. But it is not just one heartbeat, it is many. The city itself beats with fear, with anticipation, with rage that has been caged too long. Doors slam shut in the distance, windows rattle against the force of the wind, and thunder rolls low across the sky, as if the heavens themselves are warning of what's to come. The storm outside mirrors the storm within, both inevitable, both deadly. A moment of stillness breaks through the chaos. A candle flickers in a darkened room. Around it, the walls are covered in reminders of the past, torn letters, shattered photographs, fragments of promises that were once whole. A figure sits in silence, their presence heavy with decisions yet to be made. The flame reflects in their eyes that have seen too much, lost too much, and yet still burn with something dangerous. In that silence lies the truth. Vengeance has found its vessel, and it will not be gentle. The line between right and wrong dissolves completely here. Choices are no longer guided by morals, but by necessity. If lies protect, then lies will be told. If betrayal saves, then betrayal will be chosen. In this city, survival demands sacrifice, and sacrifice demands blood. The faceless figures who walk through the storm are no longer simply characters, they are weapons sharpened by suffering. Each one ready to strike when the moment demands. And yet, beneath the chaos, something deeper stirs. A connection, fragile but undeniable, threatens to rise once more. Amid the running, the hiding, the vengeance, there is still the flicker of something dangerously human: love, loyalty, forgiveness. But in this world, these things do not heal. They wound. They are weaknesses waiting to be exploited, cracks in the armor that revenge is eager to pierce. The question is not whether someone will break it, is who will break first, and how far the pieces will scatter when they do. As the night builds toward its breaking point, the tension tightens like a noose. Every step feels heavier, every decision final. The faceless figures that move through this story are no longer shadows, they are storm clouds ready to strike lightning. And when the first bolt falls, it will not stop until the city itself is set ablaze. This is not the calm before the storm. This is the storm itself, raging louder with every heartbeat, demanding to be faced, demanding to be survived. And in the chaos, one truth becomes undeniable: beauty is not salvation, it is bait. And everyone has already taken it. The storm has reached its peak. The city no longer breathes in silence, it screams, it trembles, it threatens to collapse under the weight of everything buried beneath its streets. The air is so thick with tension that even shadows seem sharper, cutting across walls and faces like knives. Time itself feels unstable, moments stretching long before snapping back with sudden violence. Every sound is amplified: the slam of a door, the crash of glass, the hiss of breath through clenched teeth. The world has narrowed to one truth. There is no escape from what is coming. The faceless figures that once moved like whispers now move like thunder. Their steps are not careful anymore. They are deliberate, urgent, full of rage and desperation. One slams a hand against a table, the echo rattling through the room. Another drops something metallic to the ground: a weapon, a key, a promise, and the sound cuts through the air like a warning shot. Their identities remain hidden, but their intent has never been clearer. The endgame has begun. The city becomes a stage for confrontation. Streets once empty now throng with invisible energy, as if every corner hides an audience waiting for the inevitable clash. Lights flare, then die, plunging alleys into blackness. Doors burst open without warning. A scream cuts through the night, only to be swallowed instantly by silence, as if the city itself refuses to let the truth escape. What was once paranoia has now solidified into reality. The enemy is here. The danger is here. And it is no longer hiding within the chaos. Fragments of old promises rise again like ghosts. A torn photograph floats through the air, caught in the storm of broken memories. A ring, once a symbol of trust, clinks against the pavement, left behind without hesitation. A letter burns slowly in the corner of a room, words disappearing into ash before they can be spoken aloud. Every piece of the past resurfaces, not as comfort, but as a weapon, forcing each player to face what they tried to bury. The sound of footsteps approaches, heavier now, deliberate, unstoppable. Each beat is a countdown, each step a drum of finality. The faceless figure at the center of it all raises their head, the shadow around them stretching unnaturally long, consuming everything in its path. They do not need a name. They do not need a face. Their presence alone is enough to shatter the illusion of safety that anyone might have clung to. And then, silence? For a moment, the storm holds its breath. The city stills, the echoes fade, and all that remains is the raw, fragile pause before impact. In that silence, voices rise not in harmony, but in conflict. Accusations spit like venom. Confessions bleed like open wounds. Betrayal erupts again, sharper, crueler than before. The words are not heard clearly, but their meaning is undeniable. Trust is dead, and what remains is war. The final moments spiral into chaos. Glass shatters across the screen, a symbol of everything breaking at once. Doors slam in rapid succession, each one cutting off another chance of escape. A shadow lunges forward, another recoils, another falls. The storm that has been building crashed down in full force, and the city is consumed in its rage. The screen flickers with glimpses of violence, of tears of blood, of hands reaching for salvation that will never come. But just before the final strike, everything fades. The screen cuts to black, leaving only the sound of a single breath, a breath that could belong to anyone, a breath that could be the last or the first of something new. Then a whisper, low and chilling, echoes in the darkness. This is only the beginning. The silence that follows is deafening. No resolution, no comfort, no answers. Only the promise that what has been seen is nothing compared to what is still to come. The storm has not ended, it has only opened the gates to something far more dangerous, something far more inevitable. And when it returns, no one will be ready. The title flashes across the void, Beauty in Black, Season 2 Part 2. Beneath it, 2 words burn into the darkness, coming soon.